Spring. It's a magical time in the garden. After a long winter, the earth awakens. Life bursts forth with incredible color. There's nothing quite like the cheerful arrival of spring bulbs. Imagine a sea of vibrant tulips dancing in the gentle breeze. Picture delicate crocuses peeking through the thawing ground, heralding the start of a new season. Planting bulbs is an act of faith. We tuck these little bundles of potential into the earth. We dream of the beauty they'll bring in just a few months' time. The reward? A breathtaking display of nature's artistry. It's a sight that brings joy to our hearts and a smile to our faces. From the bold hues of hyacinths to the graceful charm of daffodils, there's a bulb for every taste. Each variety brings its own unique beauty to the garden. Explore the wonderful world of bulbs. Discover the endless possibilities to create your own spring masterpiece. Let's embark on this journey together. We'll uncover the secrets to successful bulb planting. Get ready to transform your garden into a breathtaking celebration of spring. Selecting the right bulbs is the first step towards a stunning spring garden. Think of it like choosing a team of floral champions. You want a mix of players with different strengths and blooming times. This ensures a long-lasting and spectacular show. Start by considering your garden's conditions. Do you have a sunny open space, or perhaps a shady spot under a deciduous tree? Different bulbs thrive in different environments. Some prefer well-drained soil, while others tolerate damp conditions. Next, think about the colors and heights you'd like to feature. Do you envision a bold statement with fiery red tulips? Or a more romantic ambiance with soft pink and purple hues? Don't be afraid to mix and match. Creating contrasting combinations can lead to stunning visual effects. Finally, consider bloom times. Some bulbs, like snowdrops and crocuses, are early risers, gracing us with their presence in late winter. Others, like tulips and alliums, prefer to make a grand entrance in mid to late spring. By selecting bulbs with staggered bloom times, you can enjoy a continuous display of color for months on end. Planting at the right time is crucial for healthy bulb development. The general rule of thumb is to plant in autumn before the ground freezes. This gives the bulbs ample time to develop strong root systems before winter sets in. However, the specific planting window can vary depending on your location and the type of bulb. In colder regions, aim to plant your bulbs from September to November. In warmer climates, you can extend the planting season into December. For a handy guide, refer to the planting instructions that come with your bulbs. These instructions provide specific guidance tailored to each variety. They'll tell you the optimal planting depth and spacing, ensuring your bulbs get off to a great start. Remember, planting too early can expose bulbs to excessive warmth and moisture. This increases the risk of rot and disease. Planting too late, on the other hand, may not give the roots enough time to establish before the ground freezes. So timing is key. Imagine you're directing a play. You wouldn't place all your actors in one spot, would you? The same principle applies to bulbs. Positioning them strategically throughout your garden enhances their beauty. It creates a more dynamic and visually appealing display. Consider the mature height of each bulb type. You don't want taller varieties blocking the view of shorter, more delicate blooms. Place taller bulbs like tulips and alliums towards the back of borders or in the center of island beds. This way they won't overshadow their shorter companions. Shorter bulbs like crocuses and grape hyacinths are perfect for edging pathways or adding pops of color to rock gardens. Their diminutive size makes them ideal for planting in drifts or clusters. This creates a stunning carpet of color when in bloom. Don't limit yourself to traditional planting beds. Bulbs can thrive in a variety of settings. Consider tucking them under deciduous trees, where they'll enjoy dappled sunlight in spring. You can also naturalize bulbs in lawns for a charming wildflower meadow effect. Now comes the fun part, getting your hands dirty. But before you start digging, take a moment to prepare the soil. Bulbs, like all plants, appreciate well-draining soil that's rich in nutrients. Begin by removing any weeds or debris from the planting area. Then, loosen the soil with a garden fork or spade to a depth of about 10 to 12 inches. This improves drainage and aeration, creating a welcoming environment for your bulbs to develop strong roots. If your soil is heavy clay or compacted, it's beneficial to amend it with organic matter. Compost, well-rotted manure, or leaf mold are excellent choices. These amendments improve soil structure, drainage, and nutrient content. Once your soil is prepped, it's time to plant. Dig individual holes for each bulb or create a larger trench for planting in groups. The general rule of thumb is to plant bulbs at a depth 2 to 3 times their height. Proper depth and spacing are crucial for healthy bulb development. Plant bulbs too shallow, and they may heave out of the ground during winter frosts. Plant them too deep, and they may struggle to emerge. As a general guide, plant most bulbs at a depth 2 to 3 times their height. For example, a 2-inch tulip bulb should be planted 4 to 6 inches deep. Always refer to the specific planting instructions for each variety, as depths can vary. Spacing is equally important. Bulbs need room to grow and develop their root systems. Crowding them can lead to competition for resources and increase the risk of disease. As a rule of thumb, space bulbs about 3 times their width apart. So if a bulb is 2 inches wide, leave about 6 inches between each bulb. This provides adequate space for air circulation and prevents overcrowding. Remember, it's always better to err on the side of giving your bulbs a bit more space than not enough. A vibrant display of tulips in full bloom, showcasing the rewards of proper planting and care. Section 8. Nourishing the dream, feeding and watering your bulbs. Once your bulbs are safely tucked into their earthy beds, it's time to give them a helping hand. While bulbs are relatively low maintenance, a little TLC goes a long way in ensuring vibrant blooms. Watering is crucial, especially during the fall planting season. Water your bulbs thoroughly after planting to settle the soil and encourage root development. However, be careful not to overwater, as this can lead to bulb rot. Once the ground freezes, you can reduce watering. Bulbs are dormant during winter and don't require supplemental irrigation. However, if you live in a region with dry winters, it's a good idea to water occasionally, especially if the soil becomes excessively dry. Feeding your bulbs provides them with the nutrients they need to produce strong stems and abundant blooms. Apply a balanced, slow-release fertilizer at planting time. This will provide a steady supply of nutrients throughout the growing season. Section 9. A little TLC, caring for your bulbs after bloom. After their dazzling display, your bulbs deserve a little rest and recuperation. Don't be tempted to cut back the foliage immediately after the flowers fade. The leaves may look a bit unsightly, but they play a vital role in replenishing the bulb's energy reserves for next year's blooms. Allow the foliage to wither naturally, which typically takes about 6 weeks. During this time, continue watering as needed. Once the foliage has completely died back, you can cut it off at the base. To prevent overcrowding and encourage larger blooms in subsequent years, you can lift and divide your bulbs every few years. The best time to do this is after the foliage has died back. Carefully dig up the bulbs and separate any offsets or bulblets. Replant them immediately or store them in a cool, dry place until fall. By following these simple care tips, you can ensure your bulbs return year after year, bringing joy and color to your spring garden. Section 10. Troubleshooting common bulb problems and solutions. Even with the best intentions, gardeners sometimes encounter challenges. Bulbs, like all plants, are susceptible to pests, diseases, and environmental stressors. But don't despair. Most problems are easily preventable or treatable with a bit of knowledge. One common issue is bulb rot, often caused by poorly drained soil or excessive watering. To prevent rot, ensure your planting site has good drainage and avoid overwatering. If you notice signs of rot, such as mushy bulbs or a foul odor, remove and discard the affected bulbs immediately. Pests, such as squirrels and voles, can be a nuisance, often digging up or nibbling on bulbs. To deter these critters, consider planting bulbs in wire baskets or surrounding them with gravel. You can also try using repellents or traps. If you notice your bulbs aren't flowering as abundantly as they once did, it might be time to divide them. Overcrowding can lead to competition for resources, resulting in diminished blooms. Dividing your bulbs every few years helps maintain their vigor and ensures a spectacular display. Section 11. Embrace the joy of bulbs. Create your dazzling garden. As gardeners, we have the privilege of witnessing nature's artistry firsthand. And few sights are as captivating as the vibrant explosion of color that erupts from a well-planned bulb garden in spring. From the delicate charm of snowdrops to the majestic beauty of alliums, bulbs offer an endless array of shapes, sizes, and hues to paint your garden with joy. So embrace the joy of bulbs. Let your imagination blossom as you select your floral champions, choosing varieties that speak to your heart and complement your garden's unique personality. Prepare your planting beds with care, providing a nurturing environment for your bulbs to thrive, and then sit back and watch in awe as your garden transforms into a breathtaking tapestry of color. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the process, experiment with different combinations, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. With a little patience and care, you'll create a spring garden that sparks joy and wonder for years to come.